More than 2,000 people who voted after 7 p.m. last night in Dallas County will not have their votes count after a legal battle over Democrat polling locations staying open late. Democrats asked a judge to extend voting times after confusion over polling locations, but the state Supreme Court overturned that. The county's still working through all the details tonight. And Fox 4's Amelia Jones has the latest on where things stand right now. Amelia.
Hi there, Steve. The chair of the Dallas County Democratic Party told me they don't expect the ballots to change any of the election results. It's more about the integrity of the election process and making sure every vote is counted. The Dallas County Democratic Party is weighing its options after some voters woke up to find out their late votes would not count towards Tuesday's primary election. The change to voting locations by precincts instead of countywide vote centers left a lot of Dallas County voters confused, misinformed, and even turned away at some polling locations. A Dallas County judge granted the Democratic Party's extension for voting hours until 9 p.m., but then it was blocked by the state Supreme Court, forcing ballots cast between 7 and 9 p.m. to be set aside. The changes happened after Dallas County Republicans requested a split primary.
The fact that we were in this situation to even begin with, look, the Republican Party had a chance to do the responsible thing by voters, and they failed to do that, which caused chaos on Election Day.
Dallas County Democratic Party Chair Cardall Coleman says the party is gathering evidence about what went wrong Tuesday and consulting with lawyers to consider legal options. Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins told Fox 4 the county provided the correct info on precincts to the Secretary of State, but its website directed people to the wrong information. And then the county's website crashed with people trying to figure out where to go.
We sent them the information of where the polling places were, but there was a glitch in uploading those, and so some people that went on their website got the wrong location.
The website crash could work in the party's favor if they choose to make a case.
It's an unintentional problem. It misdirected some people. Nobody meant for it to be an issue, and it's something that affected a lot of people the same way. So you have more of a case there for doing something for a broad swath of people across the whole county.
Dallas County officials shared about 2,450 provisional votes were set aside because they were cast after 7 p.m. It's unclear if some of those ballots were people who were in line by 7 p.m. and therefore have the right to cast their vote. Coleman says that's part of their investigation.
The goal is, number one, to protect every vote. Also, the goal is to make sure that we're organized and strategized around who we are and what we care about most, and that's having free and fair elections.
Coleman says they hope to have a resolution by the end of the week. The Dallas County Democrat Party will hold its county convention later this month. Coleman says they do plan to discuss how to make sure the May runoff elections go smoothly.